All right, so what is the second month and the 17th day of the month? This is the date of which the Earth was almost totally destroyed. Perhaps by like an asteroid or something. I don't know. I mean, who knows? You know what I mean? Perhaps a design flaw in the atmosphere. Who knows? I mean, who knows? Well, I'm trying to explain to you who knows. In the 600th year of Noah's life, well, Noah knew. In his 600th year of Noah's life, in the second month and the 17th day of the month, on that day, all the fountains of the great deep were broken up and the windows of heaven were opened. You know, Trump was there at the 7-Eleven. Trump said he was there at 7-Eleven, meaning 9/11, but it was 7-Eleven. This probably happened in the year 2348 BC. I mean, who knows? Who knows? According to, I don't know, James Ussher's biblical chronology, although the interpretation of this date varies among the experts. So I guess you got to be an expert to know what the true date is. So the most layman interpretation is clear, obviously, February 17th, second month, 17th day. However, the most commonly expected interpretations is that this date corresponds to Heshvan 17, the second month in the Hebrew calendar. The resulting date, again calculated by, James Ussher, who according to him, although the interpretation of this date varies among experts. So that's one expert. And so they're looking at December 7th. Finally, some have suggested that it is unlikely that Noah knew of the Hebrew calendar, which is a key point, a very key point, because why would he write that if he had no idea about the Hebrew calendar? It's like writing about gematria when you don't even know what the hell it is beforehand. So you wouldn't go by that. So, which wasn't invented until the Exodus in 1491 BC. Therefore, we utilize the Enoch calendar. Now, the Enoch calendar is a special calendar that Enoch uses, and so you kind of go by, it's like his timing or his timeline, his time frame. Go by that. A pre-flood calendar described in the Apocrypha book of Enoch being invented around 3000 BC. The revised date, therefore, is May 24th. So the Enoch calendar is May 24th, and man, this channel is filled with advertisements. They just keep popping up left and right. It's quite annoying. Alright, so May 24th. As an honorable mention, oh, hey, look at that, Harold Camping. Oh my, Harold, I didn't even know you were on this page, I swear. Who put creation at 11,013 BC and Judgment Day on October 23rd, 2011. They make sure that they put that in there because it's going to throw doubt in your mind immediately. And he had claimed that the flood started in 4990 BC on May 21st. That is funny because I'm claiming the same damn thing, that it happened on May 21st of 2018. and we were given 7 days of a warning, set 1 day for each year, 7 years, a warning exactly, to May 21st, 2018, from 2011 to 2018. 7 years, 7 days. You have 7 days to get into the ark for the next 365 days. Because I'm going by the Enoch calendar. I'm just going to go by that. I'm going to stick with Enoch's calendar. And because it's so close, it's only 3 days off. There's a 3-day period of darkness for sure. So these two here are more in line with any other possible interpretation by the experts. Because they used that one guy, he said he's an expert. They used Enoch, the book of Enoch, he's an expert. And they used Harold Camping as an expert. There's only 3 possibilities here. Well, 4. February 17th actual. This guy here, it's a possibility that, oh, where is he? It's a James. Oh no, forget it. He got James in his name. Hell no. Please. It just clicked. The Fitz-James family, no thanks. We'll pass on you, James, all right? You are out of here. So December 7th, hell no. Now that, come on, James. Good one. They tried to sneak down past me. These advertisements, I can't get them to sneak past me though. When using NuvaRing for the second month, do you need to use a backup method for 7 days? Huh? I don't know. If you've been without a ring for come on, what? I can't believe I just fell into reading that advertisement. All right, so, oh, I'm sorry. This date varies among the experts. Okay, this is what they're calling people experts. There's a James Usher who is absolutely discredited. There is well, the actual, something's gonna take place on this day. It's something special, but it just won't be. It won't be until until somewhere around this time frame, these 2 time frames. So you got that expert who's been discredited immediately, and then you got the Enoch expert, and then you got the Harold Camping expert. Okay, so from May 14th, 1948, 70 years, and using the Enoch type calendar, I'm going with 7 months and 17 days as a continuance. That's the calendar I'm going with. It's a continuance of timelines wherever they're at. Like if they're in the middle of the summer almost, I'm adding 7 months and I'm adding the 17 days. Just to continue on with the timeline. And so that comes to December 31st, 2018, New Year's Eve morning. So God remembered Noah and every living thing and all the cattle that was with him in the ark. And God made a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters were less intense. The fountains also of the deep and the windows of heaven were stopped. Okay, they weren't open, they were stopped. And the rain from heaven was restrained. And the waters returned from the earth continually, and after the end of the 150 days, the waters were abated. So at the end of 150 days. And the ark rested in the 7th month on the 17th day of the month. Upon the mountains of Ararat. So this mountain is Mount Ararat over in between Turkey. It's a 4-point quadro area where one way is Turkey, another way is, hold on. Alright, it's too small to even read, but it's forms near a quadrupoint between Turkey, Armenia, Azerbaijan, and Iran. So Iran, also called Persia, so the kings of Persia, and officially known as the Islamic Republic of Iran, is a country in the West Asian. With over 81 million inhabitants, Iran is the world's 18th most populated country, comprised the land of blah, 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 and the second largest country in the middle. So it's a quadrupoint. It's a point on the earth that touches the border of 4 distinct territories. The term has never been in common use. It may not have been used before 1964, when it was possibly invented by the Office of Geographer of the United States Department of the word, whatever. And then, so it's between Turkey, Armenia, Azerbaijan, and Iran. And the waters decrease continually until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the first day of the month, were the tops of the mountains seen. And it came to pass at the end of 40 days that Noah opened the window of the ark which he had made. And he sent forth a raven which went to and fro until the waters were dried up from off the earth. So the raven kept going back and forth all the way to the very bitter end of the elite's plan. And he sent forth a dove from him to see if the waters were abated from off the face of the ground. But the dove found no rest for a sole of her foot, and she returned unto him into the ark, for the waters were on the face of the whole earth still. They were still on the whole face of the earth. Then he put forth his hand and took her and pulled her into the ark, and he stayed yet other 7 days. And again he sent forth the dove out of the ark, and the dove came unto him in the evening, and lo, in her mouth was an olive leaf plucked off. So Noah knew that the waters were abated from off the earth. The waters were abated. He knew when the waters were abated from off the earth. And there was an olive leaf plucked off. And he stayed yet other 7 days, and sent forth the dove, which returned not to him again any more. And it came to pass in the 601st year. Now here's the Enoch calendar again. The 601st year, in the first month, the first day of the month, the waters were dried up from off the earth, and Noah removed the covering of the ark and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry. And in the second month, on the 27th day of the month, the earth was dried. And God spoke to Noah, saying, Go forth out of the ark, you, your wife, your son's wife, bring forth every living thing, and just go multiply. When the Bible talks about anybody's timeline, like they live for 601 years, 927 years, or when it was the 600th year, this here is 601st year. 601st year. Genesis 7. And Noah was 600 years old when the flood of the waters was upon the earth. 600. It doesn't say 602 months and 7 days, 17 days. It doesn't say 605 months. It says 600 years old. I'm just going to assume that according to the Enoch calendar, the way Enoch put the calendar out there is a continuance of something. That's how I'm interpreting it. I don't even know what Enoch calendar is, but I have a feeling that's what it is. And I'm sure there's other interpretations of it. But I look at it as, number one, Enoch himself. The rumor is that in 523, 524, 524, Enoch lived 365 years. According to Enoch, in 524, he has a calendar. It's a pre-flood calendar. It's a pre-flood calendar on 524. So in Genesis 5:21, and Enoch lived 65 years and begot Methuselah, and Enoch walked with God after he begot Methuselah 300 years and begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Enoch were 365 years. And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. And Methuselah lived 187 years. But right before that, in 517, and all the days of Mahalalel were 895 years, and he died. So it sounds like everybody just died on their birthday. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's the case, because Enoch apparently was taken up on his birthday. I don't know how else to explain it besides that. So in all the days of Enoch were 365, and Enoch walked with God, in the 24th verse, and he was not, for God took him. Now what does that mean, and he was not? Is he the one, oh my, is he the beast? Is he the one that was and is not? For God took him? I don't see where it says he's taken alive, but I think it probably says it somewhere else. But this here doesn't say taken alive. Interesting. Alright, so Enoch was 600 years old when the flood of the waters was upon the earth. Here, for yet 7 days, I will cause it to rain upon the earth, 40 days and 40 nights. Now the number 40 always represents testing. So whether that's 40 days or 40 nights or a testing period, either way it's still a testing period. The question is it literally 40 days and 40 nights along with being testing, or does it mean just testing? And that's, again, there's two different interpretations for that. So you either use your calendar or the Enoch calendar. And every living substance I have made will I destroy from off the face of the earth. And Noah did according to all that the Lord had commanded him. And Noah was 600 years old when the flood of the waters came. And Noah went in, and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives with him into the ark, because of the waters of the flood, of clean beasts and of beasts that are not clean, you guys, the other ones, and fowls and everything that creeped upon the earth. There went in 2 and 2 unto the ark. 2 and 2. 2 witnesses at a time. 1, 2, 2, 1. 1, 2, 2, 1. Noah into the ark, the male and the female, as God had commanded Noah. And it came to pass, After 7 days, it came to pass after 7 years, each day is for a year. Numbers 14:34. And after the number of days in which ye had heard the land, even 40 days, each day for a year, shall ye bear in it your iniquities, even 40 years, and ye shall know my breach of promise. 7 days of the waters of the flood were upon the earth. So after 7 years of being warned on Enoch's calendar in May 21st or 24th, it's either Enoch or Harold Camping it comes down to. You really have no other choice. You want to go with James? Go ahead. In the 600th year of Noah's life, okay, so here's again, his birthday. I'm taking it as his birthday. The 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, the 17th day of the month, this is where the same day, which is his birthday, 600th year, not, doesn't say anything else other than the 600th year of Noah's life. The same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened. In the self same day entered Noah and Shem and Ham and Japheth and the sons Noah and Noah's wife and the 3 wives of his sons with him into the ark. Now in Genesis 8, and it came to pass in the 601st year. It came to pass in the 601st year, exactly 365 days later. This is where I'm coming up with it, because it's talking about as soon as he turned 600 years old, the floods were upon the earth. And then as soon as he turned 601 year, 601st year, in the 1st month, continuance. When is his birthday? The 2nd month, the 17th day of the month. May 21st is his birthday. In the Enoch calendar. In the 1st month, the 1st day of the month, the continuance, the waters were dried up from off the earth, and Noah removed the covering of the ark, and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry. And in the 2nd month, 10 days later, the 27th of the month, was the earth dried. So this is how I'm coming up with the ark resting on Mount Ararat on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. The continuance of 7 more months. I mean, if it was interpreted and said, and 7 more months and 17 more days later, but that would just be too easy. So I'm saying on January 1st. All right, so let's just read it backwards. And the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the 1st day of the month, were the tops of the mountains seen. And the ark rested in the 7th month on the 17th day of the month upon the mountains of Ararat. Okay, that can either be May 21st, or it can also be the continuance from 70 years. And the waters returned from off the earth continually, and after the end of the 150 days the waters were abated. The fountains also of the deep of the windows of heaven were stopped, and the rain from heaven was restrained. And God remembered Noah and every living thing, and all that the cattle that was with him in the ark. And God made a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters were assuaged. The waters they simmered down. Okay? They simmered down. So the waters decreased continually. And the waters returned from the earth continually. They decreased continually, and they also returned from off the earth continually. And after the end of 150 days, the waters were abated. May 31st. Now let's subtract 10 days. Let's go in reverse. "10 days of not eating the king's portion of the meat." Daniel said to Melzar, the prince, prove your servants. Prove your servants. I beseech thee. I beseech you. I beg of you. Please. I'm begging you. 10 days. And let them give us pulse to eat and water to drink. This is pulse. Now, this is the part. "Then let our countenance be looked upon before you." You know, the looks on their face to see if they approve or just see what the looks of their faces are. "And the countenance of the children that eat the portion of the king's meat." Watch our faces when these 10 days go by. And watch the faces of all the people that were so deceived, non-believing, and as thou seest, deal with your servants. So he can send it to them in this matter and prove them 10 days. At the end of the 10 days, the looks on their face appeared fairer and fatter in flesh than all the children which did eat the portion of the king's meat. The appearance of a person's face, a person's expression, and also to take a look at our faces and see if we accept, support, or approve of what you're doing for those 10 days. Revelation 2:10, 40 days since that period of time. "Fear none of those things," February 10th. "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be faithful unto death, and I will give you a crown of life." That's to the angel of the church in Smyrna. "I know thy works, and tribulation, and poverty, but thou art rich in the spirit. I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews, and are not, but are the synagogues of Satan." Tribulation 10 days. I mean, if you want to add 150 days since the time that Steve stopped making videos for the next 10 days, he's kind of using the 10 days, the 150 days, the 40 days. He's kind of using it at the same time. He's got to figure out where he's using it at. So, I mean, that lands on May 22nd, Saturday, May 23rd. It's still in between Harold Camping's expert analysis of the calendar and Enoch's expert analysis of the calendar. Where you go when the ark rested, May 31st. 70 years to determine, 70 years and 365 days. And then 7 days, and you got 7 shots to make this project, to deal with this project Bluebeam. There's a reason why we were told to save the date, May 21st, 2011. Take the 7th and of the 8th year and a 10-day tribulation period. So the government shutdown is renewed for 3 weeks. until February 15th. So I'm going to go like this. If they extend it for another 21 days, then you have March 8th. You know, 3, 2, 1. Three, 2, 1. Last day of winter. We're not talking about winter. We're talking about where it's inactivity and decay. 322 flight. So you want to pray that your flight is not in the winter, in the 3rd week and the 21st day. In the 3rd year, King Cyrus, that's where we're at right now, king of Persia. Thing was revealed. Daniel was mourning for 3 full weeks. Ate no pleasant bread for 3 whole weeks. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 1 and 21 days. 3 weeks, 1 and 21 days. 3, 2, 1. So let's just see if there's another continuance going up to March 8th. And then let's sign a 30-day decree, shall we? April 7th. Exactly 365 days since the wars and rumors of wars. Now let's take 40 days and 40 nights. Friday, May 17th. 3 days after the 71st year. The 70 years being fulfilled. 3 days after. So back on May 14th, I think there's going to be a fake rapture. How long shall it be to the end of these wonders? You know, signs, miracles, and wonders. It's for a time, times and a half. So 3.5 days from May 17th at evening is May 21st in the morning. And when he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people, all these things shall be finished. And then try us for 10 days. And the waters decrease continually, 150 days. Then the earth was dried. The waters were abated.